Back for round 3, we are going to play first, and we're going to keep this hand even though it does have the potential of ramping into nothing. It also has the potential of killing somebody with a Chain Mage. I'm not exactly sure what a Chain Mage is. The chains obey her. Everything else would do best to get out of her way. I guess if it was a Change Mage, you could like throw pennies at somebody, but that's not the world in which we live. I think I do ramp into that. Most people are going to have something that they can block with. So it looks like it's just this ye old support deck. I could go Blinding Drone into Cultivator Drone, but Chain Mage is going to block a lot of things, and that may be our path to victory here. I'm mildly interested in, well, I could do a cute thing here, and that I could cast Seer's Lantern into Blinding Drone. That gives me so much mana. I can't not do it. It's so much mana. Look at all this mana. Yeah. You got a combat trick, I know. Okay. So I have all the mana in the world. What do I want to do with it? I probably want to tap that guy down. I probably want to tap that guy down and trade this dude for his trick. Which means I need to get this in play. I can't scry. I can't cast my other dude. This sucks. But here we are. Like if we don't tap this, he can attack with it and then give it flying, and I don't want that. Okay. If we're taking one a turn, I can get behind that. Well, okay, now we're both tapping each other. This will turn into a ridiculous tap battle. Unless we just draw a kill spell and kill the damn thing. Which I kind of like. Bloop. I think I use the lantern to represent a trick. I'd rather leave up a black though. Again, there's that combat trick that we don't have in the deck that we could have in the deck. And since I am tapping down the Sky Climber, well, I'm not now. Well, I am now. I could just put both of them in front of this and then tap something down at instep. That at least lets me trade for a creature. I could even trade... Yeah, he has less attacks if I don't tap something down. I don't like trading off the Blinding Drone. But trading it for the Sky Climber is probably fine because he only gets to kill one of the guys. Now, ironically enough, I would have been better leaving up the lantern. I always get kind of screwed when I try to do cute tricks like that because I'd rather have the Scry than tap its Relief Captain end of turn. But, I mean, at least we get to do something. But at the same token, like a Scry would have been much better then. We could have put this land on the bottom. That's not a land. That's a Ruin Processor. That's actually pretty big. It's actually giant. It's actually like, what's up? I am now in charge of your board. Do I attack for 2? Probably not. I'm going to try to kill him with that. Like, he's down to attacking for 2, and we've got Demon's Grasps to scry into to get rid of that. This is the deck I was talking about in the beginning that I'm actively scared of. I can attack with this. He chumps with the Scion. We're at 8. I resolve the Soothsayer. I mean, we've still got a chump block here, which is fine, but not great. I can resolve the Soothsayer and then have a scry looking for a kill spell for the flyer, which is probably the right way to go. Like, he's got some big dudes. So we'll do this and get a scry in. Once we deal with that flyer, we should be alright. Because he's got like 0 cards now, so we don't have to worry about a whole lot. And we do have 3 removal spells that'll deal with it, plus more blinding drones. Oddly enough, the turn I missed the scry would have just done the Ruin Processor anyway, so that's good. That's not good. He doesn't have any more scouts, so at least we don't have to worry about that. This guy is a core Knigget, so that does cut our time to deal with that down significantly. We can go ahead and scry now. Jara Isle Avenger. Yeah, that'll actually solve the problem we have. It's soft to removal, but we also have to chump block if he just swings in, but we still do get another scry. Yep, that guy's big. Don't know yet how we're killing him, but it does start with board control like this. This is one of the decks that I've seen the Stoneforge Masterwork be good in. He's about to put us in a position where we actively want to trade a 3/3 for a 5-mana 3/3 for a 1-mana 1/1. I believe Kitesail Scout is actively good might be a bit of an overstatement. I believe it's good in the support deck. Because, like, what if he has a combat trick here? We're just completely screwed. I mean, we're blocking. Yeah, combat trick. We're screwed. We do get our scry value, and we can start drawing extra cards with this guy, but we're not going to be able to do it very long. All we're looking for is things that solve that Kitesail Scout problem. Island doesn't do it. I'm not going to upkeep scry because we've got one more turn out of it. And again, I get screwed more often for holding lands than playing them. So we can scry, draw a card. We got basically 2 hits at a Demon's Grasp and him whiffing on drawing another core or scout. And that puts us to 1. I think I'd rather scry first and then draw the card. Thought Knot Seer's not the droid we're looking for. Can we scry upkeep and still hit a Demon's Grasp and have blockers? Yes. We can do that because we'd have to tap 2 and we'd still have 5. So we can do an upkeep scry here. I'm going to do it this way so that I can still cast the other Jawara Isle Avenger. That's not going to do it. Well, I guess I can still make him be afraid that we have something, but I can't imagine he doesn't just go for it. The good news is we do at least get to go out on our own terms, because I'm drawing a card. Like, that is totally what's happening. Death by Kite Sail Scout and combat tricks. It ain't pretty. All right, buddy, you can't kill me because I'm just going to draw cards until I die. So we had the Avengers and Death Scraps in there. The Envoy would have handled it too. Yeah, this deck needs more colorless sources, so I've got to get that Crawler in there. The Demon's Grasps are actively bad. The Thought-Knot Seer is not something I want here. That's too often going to be he draws a card. Horribly Awry is reasonable. Dampening Pulse would usually be good against this deck. It's bad against support, but I think I still want it. Maybe over one of the Demon's Grasps. It stops his go wide plan. And I actually like everything else. I don't love this Mind Melter though. I could see playing a Coral Helm Guide against that just to like try to trade with his stuff. I might just want the other Demon's Grasp if we're going to be doing this much ramping. You know what? I'm going to try this Null Caller out. Because if we're actively trading off some of this stuff where we have to chump block, making 2/2s doesn't seem that bad. And I wished I had him last game, and I have the opportunity to do it now, so let's do it. Let's do it! I still like the Ruin Processor as a big finisher. And I still wish the Null Caller was an ally. It would be so much better if it was an ally. Unfortunately, it's not. I do think we have to play against this particular opponent. This hand looks like a keeper. All the lands are in the deck, so we'll just draw. Oh, yeah. Send that one back. This is fine. It ain't amazing, but it does a thing. Vampire Envoy is one of the better cards we could have against this opponent. So we've got a plan. Like, a 5-card hand with that scry is probably one of the best ones you can get. Because, like, next turn, we're going to cast the Chain Mage and then the Envoy and then just sit back and burn him and draw cards and see if he can do anything about it. That is too slow, my friend. I'm not attacking into a Gideon's Reproach. I doubt we ever attack again. The deck just doesn't need to. Especially not now. Like, what's up? We're going to draw so many cards. It's going to be great. You got in for 2. Okay, that's a big dude. I'll admit, that's a creature. I can't block with the Envoy yet, knowing he has Lithomancer's Focus, but we can draw blockers. Like, Essence Depleter, I don't mind risking with a block here, and it even lets us play this and get a drain in. Which I think I'd rather do. Like, that soaks out a trick if he's got one. Because, yeah, he's hitting us for 4, but we're gaining 2 of it back. So he's kind of trading 2 for 2, and our board's just better. Okay, you're making some dudes. I see what you did there. Blink, blink. Hit you for 3, gain 2. And now we're into, we can actually consider drawing cards versus draining him. We'll see where our life total ends up, but we've got card draw up. We've got multiple color sources coming down. Like, it might start getting good. He's going to start getting in some good hits and maybe force us to block with the Vampiric Envoy. But like, the 1/1 can't really attack. A support card here kind of blows us out, but it also does give us blocks. Like, at that point we could block the Giroux Stalwart relatively safely. Like, I'll have to do math, but it's possible we built a board state he just can't race. We've also got chumps from these guys. This guy, if we need it. I think I'd rather get cards, but we'll see what happens here. I kind of expect the team comes in. No? Okay. I'm going to take 7. Going to 10. I think we're going to flush out a combat trick here finally. Yep. Alright, I am going to go for the drain. That is the least efficient use of my mana I could ever get. I'm drawing a card, which if I'm doing that, we'll do it into turn. Like, putting him to 13 doesn't matter that much. Drawing a removal spell off the top is a pretty big game. Because I think we're pretty close to being able to kill him with it. Well, not anymore, but starting to get there. Not a removal spell, but that's okay. Blinding Drone is okay-ish. Is there a chance I want to chump? Maybe, maybe not. We kind of lose our clock if we block with this and he has another trick, but he may not have another trick. And it's really more about stabilizing than it is anything else. I think I just play the drone. And if I'm going to draw a card, I don't think I'm chumping with one of these dudes, so I may as well do it now. I can't think of what I'd draw that I'd want to play more, but I do feel good having that in hand at least. This means I think we've got some reasonable blocks. Again, we are very scared of a support card. But if he can't interact with these 2 cards for 6 turns and we cannot die for 6 turns, we win. That's kind of a tall order, but it could happen. I think this white-green deck may be one of the top ones in the format. It reminds me of Innistrad block, where all I wanted to do was take white-green dudes and play travel preparations and win drafts. Just win drafts all day long. It actually got boring after a while because everybody was doing the cool spider spawning deck and, like, not in recent flashbacks, but when the set was actually out, people were drafting werewolves and vampires and spirits and all this stuff, and all you just wanted was crappy 1 and 2 drops. Well, I guess Avacyn's Pilgrim wasn't crappy, but you wanted that. You wanted Dark Thicket Wolf, although any 2-drop was fine, and travel preparations. So you could go Pilgrim, 2-drop, travel prep, flash it back, kill you. And they're just dead. Why would you draw that? Of all the things you could draw, that's the one I wanted you to draw the least. I think that means I have to save Home Slice for blocking now. That's really bad. I mean, we get some value in that we can Demon's Grasp something, but that really hurts. That kind of just destroys our stuff. This is him casting Travel Prep. I think this is one of the better cards for green. Like, is gaining a life worth preventing one? I can block the Stalwart with it. I could double up on the worm and let him kill this and keep this guy. I could put the Prophet and the Cultivator Drone in front of the worm. I could chump the worm. I like having a lot of mana. But I just can't decide if I want to have that guy available to block or not. Because, like, we're taking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage. So we're going to need some blocks, and I think I'd like having this guy available to block with. Because that is one hell of a big hit. If we don't start trading off dudes, it's game over, man. Him not attacking with the tokens is actively good for us. So I kind of want to trade something off for this guy. Let's see what our blocks look like. If we do something like this, he can't kill both of our dudes, which is good. And we can maybe take a chump off of this guy. Because I'm thinking one of the things we might need is to stop drawing cards. I really don't want to do that. But I'm already casting 5 for Demon's Grasp, and that won't leave me with 4 unless I draw another land. Because presumably he kills this. And I've got a Demon's Grasp this, and then I don't have good blocks next turn. So getting something dead is definitely what I want to do. The other option would be to do something like this, in which case he can't kill either of our guys without a combat trick, and we eat it, and then just throw a chump. Like, that puts me taking 8, which doesn't leave me a lot of good draws, but it does leave me more blockers for next turn. We're dead to a combat trick. But, like, we've gotten one thing off the board. We've got 2 blockers for next turn. We're going to remove that. And if we draw a land, we can actually draw a card as well. So I think this is probably my best shot. Is that he just doesn't have a combat trick. Let's try it. Okay, no combat trick, so step 1 achieved. We get 2 plays. Except it's going to tap us out too far to actually do much. But we can tap a thing that can't block, that can't do anything other than chomp. So, I mean, that's good. But this guy has to die because he'll just launch it and kill us with it. I may still be dead on board. I have not done the math yet. Alright, so we've got to block these 2 and those 2. Does that mean I can even play the Cultivator Drone? I don't think so, because then I have to chump with it. And if I'm going to chump, I may as well chump with this. I guess that technically gives me more mana next turn. Because, like, then if he swings team, I would have to double chump with these. No. I'd have this instead of a Cultivator Drone in my hand. Because, like, here, we block a token, maybe with this guy, and we chump with these 2. The guy that makes zombies puts things into the graveyard. I guess what I want to do is block a token and chump with these 2, and then play the Cultivator Drone, because that can actually trade with these. So I would rather have this in my hand, and we are past the point where we can continue to do anything with the Prophet of Distortion. If he plays the Captain, or, you know, a Saddleback Lagak or anything like that, we're dead. Angel of Renewal doesn't just kill us, although it's not good. Any sort of scenario where multiple chumping is probably not going to end well for us. Because his deck just makes big stuff. Alright. Well, we don't have a choice here. We double chump. We could do this. Then what does he kill with the 4 power? Maybe the flyer? If he kills the flyer, then we've got enough to kill this if we rip another Demon's Grasp. And there are 3 more in the deck. This is at least trading the worm for one of these. We can't draw a Demon's Grasp, play it, and this. But we'd still have some blockers for tokens. This is probably my shot. Ugh. Because he played the creature first. If he hadn't, we might be a little more nervous about blocking that way. But it still leaves me with 2 guys on the table. I ain't saying there's much of a chance, but there's something. So can I draw anything that can actually stop this if I spend 4 mana? I can't spend 4 mana and then still draw the 3/3 flyer. So I think this puts us just dead, which is unfortunate. We had a fairly good start, but again, I think one of the weaknesses of this deck is it really wants to stabilize and ramp. And like even drawing the ramp cards wasn't good enough. This is just a bad matchup, perhaps. And I think our mana's bad. Like we should have colorless land sources in this deck for sure. You can go back to the draft and probably see where it all started to go wrong. So the board I have isn't going to do anything. All of these are lethal. So that means I have to have blockers. Like I can't do anything. I guess I can draw a card, play this, and if I have a 2 mana flyer in the deck that I've forgotten about, we can do a thing. But I think we're just very dead here. Part the Water Veil. We could have cycled, I guess. Oh, Avenger for the rub-ins. But yeah, when you're chump blocking with your mana ramp guys, you're not really able to do much. All right, he got me. We had such a good plan. We were going to Essence Drain him and Chain Mage him out and gain life off of the Envoy, and he had big dudes, and they killed us because they were big and they were dudes. So that's going to do us for today. I appreciate you guys and gals tuning in, as always. I will be back next Monday, probably with a sealed event, although it's still possible we could do more drafting. I've really enjoyed the sealed, but like I said, I've done a bunch of them. I'll be doing more this week on stream as we get into PTQing and such. At least we can eat plants. Remember, kids, eat your salad. It's good for you. You should eat plants. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to check out the stream. It is twitch.tv/Simulin. And, you know, for the time and the deck, I consider getting a draft set plus a pack and the amazing rares that we've got here, such as Thought Not Seer, which again does mostly pay for the draft. Not a bad deal. So let's thank you one more time for watching, because I really super duper 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 appreciate it. And we'll see you next week, folks.